Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to my chaotic mess. If you're new here, my name is Melissa.
I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. 'Cause I found my way.
Let me test to make sure the sound is working, because the last few times I recorded in my car, there was no sound. So let me double check real quick. Okay, there's sound. Also, I have transition glasses, so this is how it's probably going to be the whole entire video. Someone had requested a breakfast car mukbang, so that's what I'm giving you guys. I'm actually sitting in the BJ's parking lot because I need to get gas before I go about the rest of my errands for the day. And so yeah, I'm actually have you propped. There's my steering wheel. I have it pulled all the way down though, so, which I don't normally drive that way, just FYI. Man, it's busy here in the morning. I've had quite a rough morning already. I was rudely woken up again by my glucose monitor. If you guys didn't watch the last video, I towards the end I did mention that my numbers have been dropping extremely low. So I was rudely awakened by that, but I got it back up by eating a part of a candy cane. I didn't eat the whole thing this time. I literally just broke off a piece and ate it, and it worked. So anyway, McDonald's, probably not like the place you would think I'd go for a breakfast mukbang, but it's the only fast food restaurant that I really like their breakfast at. And so yeah. I like the Egg McMuffin and the sausage burrito, and that's about it. And that's what I got. The sausage burrito is like if I'm still hungry sort of thing, because sometimes I just want an Egg McMuffin and sometimes I'm a little hungrier, right? So, but if I'm not hungry for the sausage burrito, I'll just save it, put it in the fridge, and eat it either later or tomorrow. So I decided that I'm gonna slow roast my roast in the oven. I've never done that before. So I was like, I really don't feel like putting the roast together this morning. So I looked it up. It takes about 3 hours in the oven, it says. So we're gonna do that later. And we're gonna actually, because Crystal bought me that beautiful Dutch oven for Christmas, and I haven't used it yet, so we're gonna use it anyway. Like I said, so many people. I got Egg McMuffin. I've come here this early before, trust me, and there's never, maybe it's because it's Friday. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, there's really no good place to park here. But anyway, so, oh my God, what was I saying? Sugars are weird, because I was telling my husband last night, I wonder how many times my sugars have dropped that low in the middle of the night and we didn't know it, because it's not like you just wake up because your sugar's low, right? No, you continue to sleep. But these last 2 days in a row, I was rudely interrupted, but I check my numbers and they're accurate. So I don't know why they're suddenly dropping. It's not like I'm taking any more medicine. So I think I'm going to cut. She told me I could cut the metformin in half when I started my Mounjaro, which I'm still waiting for Walgreens to fill. They claim they can't fill it until February because the way it was written. So I don't know. I'm just done arguing with them. I'll get it when I get it. But I'm starting to think that if just taking the metformin and the glipizide is bottom, I can't say it, you know what I mean? You know, making my sugar go that low, then I could not imagine, because just being on the Mounjaro by itself, I had to be very careful because it kept my numbers like around 80, 90 all the time. So please don't pull up behind me. I hate when people do that. She seriously just pulled up right behind me. That's so rude. Anyway. I don't know what you want. You're just sitting there. You're just sitting there. Anyway. Now before I like... That's weird. For all the other people come at me like, oh, if you have diabetes, why do you eat McDonald's? I don't eat this every day. I don't eat this every single day. And I hate to tell you, but diabetics don't live in a bubble. And every now and then we do like to have a little treat. So just before you leave like a rude comment to me, I know not all of y'all are like that, but there are some people that just like to bring others down. And just know that yes, I'm diabetic. Yes, I keep track of my numbers. And yes, we are allowed to treat ourselves every now and then, as long as it's not an everyday thing. So, again, I don't eat this way every day. Do I have fast food more often than I should? Probably. But also, I keep track of my numbers. So, especially now that I have this continuous glucose monitoring thing, that hopefully my doctor will re-prescribe me, because this was a trial that I got for free. So anyway, now on to what I had originally planned to talk about. First thing, if you don't like books, I'm sorry, I need to comment on a book I just finished. I just finished The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. And I have to say, I'm going to try not... Actually, there's going to be one spoiler. So if you haven't read it and you want to read it, please skip ahead. I don't know to where, but skip ahead. And so anyway, I just finished reading it, right? And usually Frida McFadden books I can read really quickly because they keep me so interested in it. But this one was slow. So slow. And also, the person I thought was gonna die was not the person that died. And also, if you read the beginning part of the book, where it said that she was trying to clean up the blood, and then you get to the part of when she actually walked in and found the person dead, it does not mention her cleaning up blood then. It just mentions her running out of the house. So whose body was she by in the beginning of the book? You don't ever know. And you don't even know if it's Millie, because it never specifically says Millie in the beginning of the book. So I don't know, but this is why. This is why people like to watch mukbangs. I can't say anything because I watch Steph Pappas, but most of her videos that I watch are like her trying new products at restaurants, so I don't watch her just to watch her eat. So I don't know. What was I saying? So it's just it's so slow, and it was hard to really like just sit down and be interested in it, but I finally just sat down and finished it because I refused to take it into February with me, because it wasn't that I didn't enjoy the book. It's just I did enjoy it for the most part. Like once it got to the point of why we read Frida McFadden books, once it got to the point, it wasn't that bad of a book, and it did have like a plot twist that I honestly did not see coming, because the whole time I thought it was one person, then it ended up being two completely different people. With that said, here's the spoiler. I feel like she set it up to where Millie's story is ending, and now we're going to be picking up on Martha. I could be wrong. Maybe she's going to continue with Millie, or maybe she's going to end the series like everyone is asking her to, because I think there was a lot of people that just really did not enjoy The Housemaid is Watching, because I've seen some good reviews. I pre-ordered it for one because I love Frida McFadden books. They are one of my go-to reads, because I like to switch between like the romance and then like the mystery / murder she wrote type things. But I just feel like the series should be done. And I guess there's a lot of people who feel the same exact way. So maybe she'll listen to her fans and just be done with the series. But if she doesn't in the series, I just wonder if she ended it the way she did because she wants to start with a new maid. Because Millie is no longer a maid. She is a mom and a social worker, so she is not the housemaid anymore. So I just wonder if that's what this was set up for. Plus it kind of came full circle because they brought back characters from previous books, and I just want, you know what I'm saying? I just wonder. But anyway, that's my book review. Now I'm on to, I don't remember what it's called. I literally just started it. It's by, oh my god, why can't I think of her name? It's the girl I really like to read at Christmas time, but it's one of her non-Christmas books. I can't think of it. So, anyway, moving on. Dexter. How many of you guys have watched Dexter? There's going to be spoilers in this as well. This is just a mukbang full of spoilers. So, I'm talking about the original Dexter, not the original Sin Dexter, but like the original aired Dexter. Anyway, I'm now on season 7. You already know in one of the previous videos I complained about them killing Rita, and I still am upset about that because I feel like the storyline could have still continued without her death. Like, here's the thing. He was upset about Rita's death, but I think if you would have killed his sister, he would have really went on a rampage. I'm just saying. Again, I'm only on season 7, and Deborah had previously just found out that Dexter's a serial killer, and she's struggling with it, and she's struggling on what to do with it. And yeah, so here's my thing. If Dexter was smart, he would, God, what did I just spit out? He would have helped them with their, like, active cases and kept, like, killing the people that were getting off scot-free. You know what I'm saying? But, like, help them close a case, because now your sister, especially since now your sister's like lieutenant, right? Yes. Especially since your sister's a lieutenant, and her job is literally to close cases to keep their stats up. So help them close their cases and just keep killing people that are guilty, like the one that they just recently arrested was a case Dexter took to his sister that was someone who got off scot-free. But I think the reason they do that is supposed, I don't know. I think the show would have just been as good if he was helping the police, but at the same time, helping the police on active cases, but then at the same time murdering other guilty people behind their backs. You know what I'm saying? Actually, before I even ever started watching the show, that's what I thought it was. I thought, because I knew he worked for the police, I didn't know if he was a police officer or what, but I knew he had worked for the police just by things that I've read over the years. But like, I always thought he helped the police, but in his spare time he killed the guilty. But I didn't realize he was going after the people that the police were actively searching for as well. And so I think the storyline would have honestly been better if it was set up the way I just said, where he was actively helping them close cases, but then he would take cold cases, you know what I'm saying? And because in the show, he does work on some of the cold cases and brings those people to quote unquote justice. But I feel like if he would have stayed out of active cases, he would not have gotten caught by his sister. Just saying. Man, these people they drive like maniacs around here. Anyway, see, what else should we talk about? I did a book, I did a TV show. My life's pretty boring. a lot of the TV shows are starting back up that my husband and I watch, but we've also been, the second season of Night Agent came out. It's on Netflix if you don't know, so we started watching that. And The Recruit second season is coming out, and I'm trying to remember if we ever watched the first season or if I put it on our list to watch. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like watch the trailer to see if we watched it before, because I honestly don't know. We still haven't finished Umbrella Academy, but we both were kind of annoyed at the last season that we watched, so I can understand. Like, we were like irritated at some of the events of it. And no, we're not talking about Elliot Page. That wasn't, it just got stupid, basically. I didn't care that Vanya turned into, I done forgot the name she changed her character to. A lot of people were pissed off about that because Umbrella Academy is a comic, I think, or it's a book or a comic, I don't know, but people got pissed off about it because in the comics, Vanya does not change into a man, so. But anyway, I don't know, we just stopped. It just got stupid. It really did. It just got really stupid, and I don't know if we're ever going to finish the last season. Because that's the one we haven't watched, is the last season. It got, I think, all the time jumping is what's really irritating us. And now they're like, with characters of different Umbrella Academy people. That's how long ago we watched it, so we might be 2 seasons behind. I don't know. It just got weird. It just got stupid, in my opinion. So, but there are a lot of shows I need to catch up on, so I just figured, I know Dexter was done with, so I figured let me just go ahead and watch that because it's over, it's done. I think I need to check to see if Call the Midwife is completely done now, and then I'll just start rewatching that one because there's like 1,000 seasons of it. It's a good show, but it's also in my opinion, a slow, laid back, relaxing show. So if you don't like slow dramas, you wouldn't like it. I like it, but I like all sorts of stuff. I like romance, I like laid back, I like murder mystery, I like horror, I like action. I pretty much like everything to an extent. I don't really care for shows about like drugs, like when it's solely about drugs. I don't care if I don't know what it's called. There's a show, I don't even know if it's still on there, but it was literally about selling drugs. I don't like that sort of thing because it's just not something I agree with. So I don't like to watch shows like that. I mean, I don't agree with murder either. Well, I mean, technically I guess I do because I'm for capital punishment and death penalty. So I guess I am because people consider that murder, but I don't know. I'm not against it. So I actually feel like we give criminals too many appeals, especially now that our like DNA and all of our Why can't I think of it? I freaking went to school for criminal justice and I can't think of proper names for things. What the hell? The technology that we have today is so advanced compared to when they first started to give the criminals a certain amount of appeals, because we couldn't run DNA back then. And yeah, since the invention of DNA, a lot of people have gotten off of death row and out of jail because they've asked for their cases to be reopened, and it was found that they were in fact not the guilty one. And yes, I understand back then having all the appeals, but all the cases now, I don't think we need to have that many appeals, because these people are living off of taxpayer money unless they're in a privatized prison. But even privatized prisons get grants and stuff like that from the government. So I'm just saying, these people live better lives than a lot of people in America, and they're in prison. I've went to a prison before, not arrested, but when I was in college, we went to the prison, and I will tell you, I was surprised. Like, yeah, they're allowed to get things from the commissary and stuff like that, but like, their food was like amazing, like, because we got to eat with them. We obviously were not in the maximum security section of the prison, because we got to eat with them and talk with some of them and find out, if they could go back in time, would they change things, etc., etc. Which, surprisingly enough, there was not a lot of them that said they would go back and change things. And it wasn't because they thought what they did wasn't wrong. It's because they said they wouldn't change anything, because that was the wake-up call they needed. The going to prison was the wake-up call they needed to change their lives. That, one of the guys straight up said if they let him out, he's going to be right back in, because he has nothing on the outside. So there are a lot of repeat offenders that, go out and commit crimes because they literally don't want to live on the streets, and they would rather live in prison. So I don't know, it's just, it's sad but very motivating at the same time. But anyway, my point is, their food was delicious. It's not like what we see in like the movies and stuff. They're not eating slop. They're getting really good meals. And like on holidays, they were telling us, like on holidays they get these big feasts. Like the prisons have food catered in, not catered obviously, but brought in. So I guess still catered, it's just not being served to them by civilians. So they have food brought in, and it's the most delicious food they've ever had. But we were sitting there eating the same things they were eating, and their food was pretty good. And so we asked them, one of the girls asked them, is this the type of food you eat every day, or is this just something special for us? And they said no, this was normal. This was what they eat pretty much every day. They eat something similar every day. But it was good. Like, it was delicious food. And we asked them, because we ate lunch with them, so we asked them what breakfast usually was. And then I guess that at that prison they had they still have a line you had to go through, but there's like, it's almost like a buffet, and you just tell them what you want instead of you get whatever they put on your plate sort of situation. And they cater to like everyone's food, not like, obviously if there's an allergy they cater to it, but dietary things. So if someone wants to be keto, which back then there wasn't really keto, I think back then Atkins was out, so low carb. If you wanted to be low carb, they would accommodate that for you. They get to go outside for so long. They have access to a gym, they have access to a library, within the prison. But the people in the sector we were in, they get to have jobs within the prison, whereas if you're in the maximum security side, you don't have those privileges. You are pretty much just stuck in that side of the prison. They still the guys said that they get the same food over there. They just don't have, like, they have books brought to them, so they can request books and they're brought to them, but they don't get to go to the library. They don't get to go to the gym because weapons, because dumbbells, stuff like that. And their yard time is very minimum on the maximum security side. So if you're in the maximum security side, you're still eating better than most of America, but your privileges are a little less. I don't know. I'm just saying, I can see why homeless people commit crimes to go to prison, because it gets them off the streets. It gets them 3 hot meals a day, a shower, access to a lot of things, especially healthcare. Healthcare is absolutely free for them. We pay for that. So I've known stories of people who have, unfortunately, have cancer, and they will go commit a crime. Like, obviously nothing major, and so nothing like murder or anything, but something big enough to get them put in prison, not just jail, so that they can get the medical treatment they need, because insurance is outrageous. Like, honestly, I told my husband I would honestly probably just die if our insurance didn't cover it, because one, I don't want to go to jail. Not that there's anything well, I never been to a Florida prison, so I couldn't tell you. Indiana was not so bad, but I don't want to go to prison. I mainly because I don't want to commit the crime. So what else? I don't know. I think, and you guys, I've bitched about this enough, so I'm not going to go on too much of a tangent, but like, that's why the American people just die. Like, they give up on life and die because they can't afford it. Insurance isn't covering it. And so what other options do they have? Now, if you are lucky enough to have government insurance, you can have whatever you want, apparently. Apparently, they even cover weight loss surgery for free. Meanwhile, my insurance company's like, no, we don't cover that. It's like, I still wish I could have went through with it when we lived in Indiana. If you don't know, I went through all of the classes, all of the therapy, everything you have to do, well, at least in the state of Indiana, to get weight loss surgery, right? Everything my insurance had required, I did it. I was to the point where they were going to schedule my surgery date, and I backed out. I had so much anxiety. I had dreams that I was going to die on the table, and I just backed out. And I wish I would have done it. I truly wish I would have done it. And not because I want the easy way out. It's just, I've tried so many things since I was 18 years old. I tried so many things. I had a personal trainer at one point, and I did everything that lady said. I followed her diet to a T. I worked out as much as she told me to, even because there were after work workouts, because I seen her before I went to work in the mornings. I seen her 4 times a week, but she wanted me to work out every day after work, so 5 days after work plus the 4 mornings with her. I did this for 6 months. It cost a lot of money to have a personal trainer. I was paying like $400 a month or something. That probably doesn't seem like a lot to you guys. I lived with my parents at the time, which is the only reason I could afford it. And I'm not ashamed to say this, my dad paid my car payment. I should be ashamed of saying that. Justin says I'm a princess, like, because of how I was raised. So maybe I am, I don't know. But I will never ever say I was not spoiled growing up, because I was. I'm the only girl in the family, and my dad pretty much gave me whatever I asked for. So, am I spoiled? Absolutely. Anyway, enough of that. What was I saying? Right. I've seen this personal trainer for 6 months, right? And every month we waited. Every month, no weight loss. Every month, no weight loss. And 6 months, I gained 4 pounds. And she looked at me, she said, "Are you following the diet?" I said, "I'm doing everything. I'm following everything to a T." And this is back, when people weren't writing books about how different people have different like their bodies are different, right? So we didn't know why I wasn't losing weight. I was doing everything. I was definitely stronger, and I had more energy back then, but I wasn't losing any weight. The only time I ever lost weight was when Justin and I went on paleo, and I went from 350 pounds to 280 pounds in like 8 months, maybe less. And I was going to the YMCA every week. I was doing Zumba, and every now and then I would do one of the old people workouts. I forget what they're called, like silver shoes or something like that. It was at the YMCA, so I don't remember what it's called, but it's like basically like a low intensity HIIT class, but it's meant for senior citizens, but that's the one I would do. Plus I would walk on the treadmill at the YMCA. I did the water aerobics classes. I was just really trying at that point, because I wanted to look nice for our wedding, right? But it's all stopped. Once I got to 280, it stopped. And I didn't know what to do. Like, we were still doing paleo at that time. I was still doing the workouts at that time, but it just all stopped. And then my husband quit his job. We moved to Indiana, and I just stayed at that weight. I stayed around between 280, 270. The only time I got down to 250 was when I had my tonsil surgery, and I literally could not eat for a month. I had broth for a month, and I'm not kidding you, broth, very soft eggs, and I don't like soft eggs, like where they're still a little runny. I hate those. And watery, well, my mom made it with milk, so it wasn't watery, but like very liquidy oatmeal. It's what I ate for a month. Broth, eggs, oatmeal, because I could not, for the life of me, swallow anything solid. Like, because first of all, I had a tonsillectomy, right? A week later, I had to go back in for emergency surgery because there was a tonsil bleed, so, which apparently is very rare, but basically where they cauterize where they do the whatever, anyway, where they cauterize it inside of you, somehow came undone or something along those lines, and I was basically spewing blood. I know that sounds disgusting, but I was literally coughing up blood. And anyway, enough of that. I don't know what I was talking to you guys. I don't know what I was talking to you guys about before I got to that tangent. Oh, weight loss. But yeah, and then they put me on those pills like last year that caused me to gain weight, and now I'm just trying to get everything back off. I really am trying. I know you guys are gonna be like, you just ate McDonald's, you're not trying. It's harder now since, I can barely move most days because of my back, so it's not an easy process. But I'm doing my best. When I have a good day, I do my best to move as much as possible. I actually thought about joining the YMCA because I'd love to do Zumba classes again. The problem is I don't know if it would be worth the money because I may only get to go once or twice a month, and for me that just seems like a lot of money to maybe not be able to go. And I don't know if this YMCA has water aerobics. I could do that for sure because there's no, like, you don't feel things in the water, which is why it's really good for people with like back issues and stuff like that, because they can get a workout in and they don't feel it while they're working out. Of course they feel it later, which is fine, but they don't feel it at that point in time. So anyway, this was fun. We'll do it again sometime. Maybe not always for breakfast because I'm not usually up this early. In fact, I hate it that I'm up this early. I would rather be sleeping. Don't you dare park, old man. Of course you're gonna park. I hate people. Anyway, it's a good thing we're ending this because people just parked there and it's annoying. But anyway, guys, we're going to end this. So basically, let me know if you would like me to do this again. If so, what kind of topics do you want to hear about? Because that would help me out a lot, because sometimes I just don't know what to talk about and I probably end up repeating myself so many times. If you're new, you probably never heard any of the stories that I just told, but I have talked about my tonsillectomy before. I think I might have talked about my trainer. I don't know. I know I never talked about the prisons. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys would want to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. If you like to give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Again, what would you like me to talk about next mukbang? And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. 'Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. 'Cause I found my way.